Hi friends, good morning. Welcome back to another session from Advanced Surveying. So we are already doing our theodolite surveying. So today mostly we will wind up this chapter, theodolite surveying. Myself Muhammad Wahid, working as a lecturer in Civil Engineering Department, SRRS Government Polytechnic Sirsilla. Okay. Today, after watching this video lesson, you are going to learn about the calculation of area of a closed traverse by coordinate method 2. This is in the previous class we have seen method 1, and today we are going to see the another method, which is very easy method and very popular method. And next one is, what are the errors, types of errors in theodolite surveying. So these are the two things we are going to learn today. And as I said you, this is our previous class, that is calculation of area of a closed traverse by coordinate method we have seen, and we have seen some of the errors in the theodolite surveying. And what are the rules that we have to do, that we have seen, like Bowditch rule, transit rule. Okay, and we have solved one problem based upon how to find out the closing error with respect to its length, with respect to its bearing, to know the direction of the closing error. And we have seen previously regarding the when omitted measurements, we have seen the omitted measurements, right? Coming to today's topic, calculation of area of a closed traverse by method 2. This is very easy method. Let A, B, C, D, E, A be a closed traverse. This one, A, B, C, D, E. This one, please try to rectify this one. This is D, E, a closed traverse. Okay, and you all know x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, x5, x5, y5. All these are nothing but ordinates, x ordinates and y ordinates. Okay. Now, calculate the area of the traverse will be undergo in the following stages. That is, you have to arrange the coordinates as shown in the figure. So what is that? We'll see now. x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and x6 means this is x1. Next y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6 means y1. Okay. Arrange the coordinates and shown in figure 2. Determine the sum of the products of the coordinates joined by thick line. So this is the thick line. This is the thick line. Sum of the product means what? x1, y2 plus x2, y3 plus x3, y4 plus x4, y5 plus x5, y1. This is y1. Okay. Next, determine the sum of the products of the coordinates joined by thin line, that is dotted line. Say sum of q. So this one, y1 x2, y2 x3 plus y3 x4. So what are they saying? Sum of products means, sum means you have to add each product, means y1 x2 is one product plus y2 x3 is one product, y3 x4, y4, like that you have to do. Later on, you find the difference between the sum of products of the thick line and sum of products of the thin line, dotted line, and that half of the difference between the sum of P and sum of Q is the required area of the closed traverse. Okay, so read this one as x1 closed, na, right? Closed means what? A, B, C, D, E, A again. Okay, like that you have to, right? Because we are dealing with a closed traverse, here it starts with x1 and ends with the x1. This is a typographical mistake. And y1 to y1 again, y2, y3, y4, y5 and y6. Okay, see this one. x1 y2 plus x2 y3 plus x3 y4 x4 y1 x5. Similar way, sum of y1 x2 y2 x3 y3 x4 y4 x5 and y5 x1. Now area equals to half of the difference between sum of p and sum of q. Okay, based upon that formula, now we'll try to solve one problem. Now here it is, see, the corrected latitude and departure of a closed traverse A, B, C, D, A are given in table below. Calculate its area. So this is our corrected latitudes and departures. AB, BC, CD and DA. So A to A, it is a closed traverse. And north 110, east 20, 30, 150, 150, 70, 10 and 100. This is the corrected latitudes and departure, means already a closed traverse has been run, plotted, and whatever the closing error has been there, that has been distributed even. That is called as a corrected latitude and departure. Coming to, let the coordinates of station A equals to 100, 100. I am assuming a coordinates of station A and 100 and 100. Now coordinates of other stations are calculated. How they will be calculated? Suppose like this. At A, x and y are 100 and 100. What will be at B? 100 plus 110. Okay. 100 plus this 20. 100 plus this 20. Y, x is what? So one second, this is somewhat mistake. So here x means what? Departure. Y means what? Latitude. So departure 100 plus 20, 120, 120 plus 150, 270, 270 minus 70, it is 200, minus 100, it is 100. Now how this minus and plus have been given? So if you see this one from the question itself, so east, this 20 is east means plus, 150 is plus, minus west minus 100, like that we have given. Now similarly the latitudes, 100 we have assumed at A, and at B it will be what? 100 plus 110, it is 210, plus 30, 240, minus 150, so it is 90, plus 10, 100. So these are the coordinates, right? So based upon these coordinates, you are going to find out the area. Now how to arrange this one? In this way: x1, x2, x3, x4 and x1, y1, y2, y3, y4 and y1. So what is x1? 100, okay, 120, 270, 200, 100, 100, 210, like that we have arranged. Now you have to sum up the product of this one, means 100 into 210 plus 120 into 240 plus 270 into 90 plus 200 into 100. So like that, okay, you have to add, you got around 94,100. Similarly 100 into 120 plus 210 into 270 plus 240 into 200, 90 into 100. So you are getting how much? 1,25,700. Now you make the difference. You make the difference. So what is this? 1,25,700 minus 94,100 by 2, because from the formula it is clear that half of the difference between the two things will be the area. So what is the area of a closed traverse from our ordinates given is 15,800 square meters. Okay. So by this way this problem will be ended. Okay. I hope you understood this problem. Just you are supposed to arrange it. You have to arrange in this manner and calculate and put in the formula, right? Coming to our another topic, types of errors. Now what are the different types of errors? There are instrumental errors, personal errors, natural errors. Okay, instrumental errors means when the instrument have some problem. Personal means what we do, the operator will do. Natural means it is a weather conditions like that. We'll see one of the other now. First we'll see instrumental errors. These errors occur due to what? The faulty instruments. Faulty means some damaged instruments, right? Error due to imperfect adjustment of plate levels. What is these plate levels? What? Foot screws. Foot screws not being adjusted like that. Next, error due to line of collimation not being perpendicular to the horizontal axis. Next, error due to horizontal axis not perpendicular to vertical axis. Error due to non-parallelism of the axis of telescope, level and line of collimation. Error due to imperfect object of the vertical circle, vernier. These are all the instrument errors. Now we'll see one of the other. And error due to eccentricity of inner and outer axis. Error due to imperfect graduations. Error due to eccentricity of the verniers. Okay. Now we'll see what is the first error due to instrumental error. That is error due to imperfect adjustment of the leveling. Now what happens here? See, if the upper and lower plates are not horizontal, when the bubbles in the plate levels are centered, due to which the vertical of the instrument will not be true. So that if it is not true, the measured angles are incorrect. Means what? Even though the plate bubble is made into center by using the foot screws, the upper plate and lower plate are not being horizontal. In those situations, what happens? Vertical of the instrument will not be truly vertical, due to which the measured angles are not perfect, means not correct. This is one of the instrumental error. Okay. Next, errors due to line of collimation not being perpendicular to horizontal axis. Means our horizontal axis is suppose like this, our telescope is like this. Okay. Line of collimation. Line of collimation is what? Optical center of eyepiece to object glass, and its continuation is nothing but line of collimation, which is not perpendicular to this horizontal axis. That is the condition. Okay. So if the line of sight not perpendicular to the Trinonian axis, what do you mean by Trinonian axis of the telescope? Horizontal axis. So it will not revolve in plane when the telescope is raised or lowered. Okay. And instead it will trace out the surface of the cone. This will cause error in the measurement of horizontal angle between the points which are at a considerable difference in elevation. So when it is not perpendicular to the horizontal axis, what happens? When the horizontal angle between two points are to be considered, when there are in different elevations, will not be perfect. Okay. Next, errors due to horizontal axis not being perpendicular to vertical axis. Okay. Means if the horizontal axis is not perpendicular to vertical axis, so if the horizontal axis is not perpendicular to vertical axis, the line of sight will move in an inclined plane when the telescope is raised or placed. Means what? The line of sight means our telescope. What happens if it is not perpendicular to each other? Means horizontal axis not being perpendicular to vertical axis. What happens? Our line of sight will also move inclined. It moves inclined. Okay. So thus the horizontal angles and vertical angles, whatever you measured, it will be incorrect. Okay. Next, error due to non-parallelism of the axis of telescope level and line of collimation. Okay, means if the line of sight is not parallel to axis of telescope, okay, if the line of sight is not parallel to axis of telescope, whatever the vertical angles we measured, it will be incorrect, because the line of, since the zero line of the vertical verniers will not be true line of reference. Means if you make the vernier C and D to 0, it should be parallel to the line of sight. If it is not so, whatever the measurements you are doing, those all will be incorrect, especially in case of vertical angles. Okay. Now these errors can be eliminated by taking both face left and face right observations. So as I said you, when you are talking about the measurement of horizontal angles by both repetition, okay, so this error can be eliminated by taking both face observations. Okay. Now error due to imperfect adjustment of the vertical circle vernier. Now what happens here? If the vertical circle vernier do not read 0, then the line of sight is horizontal. Then the line of sight is horizontal. The vertical angles measured will be incorrect. In that situation, what happens? The vertical angles measured will be incorrect. These errors can be eliminated by applying index correction or by taking both face observations. Okay, means actually whatever the errors we are seeing now, I will discuss again. Errors due to eccentricity of inner and outer axis. Now where you can see this inner and outer axis? At to the inner axis lower plate is connected, to the outer axis upper plate is connected. Okay. Now if the center of the graduation's horizontal circle does not coincide with the center of the vernier plate, the angles against both verniers will be incorrect. Means what? Vertical circle, horizontal circle is there. In that lower plate you will be having main scale reading 0 to 360 degrees clockwise direction, and in case of vertical you will be having what? Vernier scales. So error due to eccentricity of inner and outer axis means it actually the vertical axis should pass through these two axes. Okay. If it have any eccentricity, whatever the readings we are taking, what are the angles we are taking, horizontal angles, that will be affected. Okay. Now this can be avoided by taking mean of the two vernier readings. That is the reason we are going to take vernier A and vernier B readings, so that you can make the average of those things. Okay. Next, error due to imperfect graduations. Now what these graduations means? Actually it will be having some least count of say 20 minutes for your main scale reading and 20 seconds for your vernier scale reading. Those should be perfectly marked. Okay. And if the graduations are not legible or defectable, wrong measurements may be noted. Defective wrong measurements may be noted. This can be minimized taking mean of several readings distributed different portions of the graduated circle. Means you have to read how means suppose the horizontal angle between let's say P and Q are say 20 degrees, it is almost. Okay. So how do you are supposed to do this? You have to sight the zero line of your main scale reading with your P line and measure the Q by taking the losing the upper clamp. Similarly, you have to taking mean of several readings distributed at different portions of the graduated circle. Means so in the initially you have cited main scale reading 0 to P, and later what you do is you do 40 degrees, you make it as a initial reading at P, so that you take the reading, so that at Q you will be getting 60. Like that, at n number of places on a graduated circle, you measure the angle between two same points with different places of the graduation circle, so that the average will give the perfect result. Okay. Next, error due to eccentricity of verniers. Generally, what is this eccentricity of verniers means? Always I said you that vernier A and vernier B should always differ by 180 degrees. Okay, they differ by 180 degrees. If the 0 degrees of the verniers are not marked exactly opposite the diameter of the horizontal circle, then the difference between two verniers will not be equals to 180 degrees. Okay, so always you are supposed to ensure that they are differing by 180 degrees. Okay, the 0 of the vernier A and 0 of the vernier B should differ by 180 degrees. Okay, these are all the instrumental errors. Now, some of the instrumental errors are such that they are missing the permanent adjustment. One should calibrate the instrument so as to eliminate all these errors. Okay, the calibration of the instrument is nothing but making all the adjustments perfectly, that is permanent adjustment. What we are doing is a temporary adjustment. Fixing up the instrument on the given station point is not fixing up the instrument on the given station point is a temporary adjustment. Now what we learned by instrumental errors, all they are comes under the permanent failure errors, which has to be rectified by making the adjustments perfectly. Okay, so next, coming to personal errors. Now these errors occur due to the inability of the person in using the instrument. Inability of the person means the person being non-technical, first of all. Okay, he is not aware of the instrument. He is the first time he is using the instrument, so for him he don't know what is the clamp screw, what is the tangent screw, the difference, and he don't know how to take the readings like that. Okay, so we the technical persons will be having a sound knowledge in taking the readings, and how we come across? By having on hand practice itself. Okay, not by bookish study we cannot do that. We have to do the on hand practice. Okay, now coming to here, the following are the important errors, that is inaccurate centering, inaccurate leveling, slip, operating wrong tangent screw, parallax and mistakes while noting the readings. Okay, all these are comes under what? Personal errors, means the man-made things. These are what we do. Okay, coming to the inaccurate centering. If the vertical axis of the instrument is not exactly over the station, so the observed angles either greater or smaller, this error can be minimized by centering the instrument carefully. Almost, see, if you take a dumpy level, there is no such instrument to be fixed on a station known point. So dumpy level you can fix it anywhere as per your requirement, as per your convenient. But whereas theodolite, it has to be definitely fixed on the known station point. Exactly. Okay, if you take a vernier theodolite, you will be having a optical plummet. From this optical plummet you have to see the point and you have to make the instrument center. Whereas if you take a electronic theodolite, you will be having a laser point such that it will be blinking on the station point. Okay, by that you can be adjusting the approximate one is what? By making the legs radially or circumferentially, you have to move the legs and you have to do it, and by using the foot screws you make it a center. Okay, now how this error can be minimized? By centering the instrument carefully. Okay, now one should ensure the instrument is centered before taking the readings, because you may get wrong readings. Especially this centering is very much important in case of a traversing, because from the station itself you will be taking back bearing from onto the another station and forward bearing onto the another station, so you will be getting closer error problems from this one only. Okay, next, inaccurate leveling. So if the instrument is not leveled accurately, the error will be similar to non-adjustment of the plate level, that is instrumental error. Okay, for that reason you should ensure that the instrument is centered perfectly by using the foot screws. This error can be eliminated or minimized by centering the instrument carefully. Next, slip. What do you mean by a slip? Slip is nothing but now if you take a tripod stand, you will be having a clamps. Okay, you will be having a clamps. Okay, if the lower clamp is not properly clamped, or the leveling head is loose, or nut and bolts of a tripod head are not firm, or instrument is not firmly fixed on the tripod. Now what is this slip? Means your instrument not being perfectly fixed to the tripod, that is the one reason. Or you will be having a extendable tripods. You will be having what? Extendable tripods. In that what happens, if you are not perfectly tightening the tripod stand after extending fully, it may slip because of the weight of the instrument. And if you are fixing the instrument on a loose sandy soil or a recently laid bituminous road in a summer, what happens? It will be slowly due to its sulfate, it will be slowly inserted into the soil or the bituminous road itself. Because of that, slip may occur. So the line of sight always changes its direction. Because of that, the measurements what we have taken will be incorrect. Okay. Next, operating the wrong tangent screw. This error occurs when the using upper tangent screw while taking backside, or using the lower tangent screw while taking the foresight. This can be eliminated by using the lower tangent screw for backside and upper tangent. Means what happens? Suppose, as we discussed earlier, if you want to rotate the instrument, you just what? Tight the upper clamp and loose the lower clamp. And if you want to rotate the instrument such that you want to know the reading, you have to tight the lower clamp and rotate the upper clamp, loose the upper clamp, because I want to know the angle between 2 points, means upper clamp should be loosened so that readings will be noted. And if you want to keep the readings unchanged and the instrument to be rotated, then in such case you have to do lower clamp to be loosened. So this should know whether what clamp screw should be used in what situation. Okay, if you are using vice versa, means instead of using upper clamp you are using lower clamp, then everything will be lost. Okay, now this error can be eliminated by using the proper tangent screw or proper clamp screw. Okay, next, parallax and mistakes while noting the readings. Now what happens due to parallax error? Accurate bisection of the object is not possible. Means you cannot bisect the object, which is not possible. This can be eliminated by focusing the eyepiece and objective glass. So this is one of the part in your temporary adjustment. Means while doing the temporary adjustments, elimination of parallax, how you can be doing? Focusing the eyepiece, focusing the object glass, you can eliminate the parallax, right? Now this can be eliminated by focusing the eyepiece and object glass. That is, error due to parallax, accurate bisection of object is not possible. Okay. Mistakes while noting readings can be eliminated by taking and entering the readings carefully. Now what happens? So in your colleges, when you are doing practical, what in a batch you will be having 5 to 8 members for a batch. So one will be holding the ranging rod, and one will be holding the staff, and one will be using the tape, and one will be at the instrument. And the person who is seeing the reading should write the readings. And while writing also, he has to memorize that one. Means if you are writing say 20 degrees 30 minutes, he is writing. So you has to memorize it while writing. So 20 degrees 30 minutes, like that you have to memorize it. If not, he forgets. Now what the students will do is, the person who is seeing, he will be speaking out, and the person who is noting will be another person. Actually, in general, to avoid that errors, the person who is seeing itself, he has to write. But in the practicals, in colleges, what they will be doing is what? One person will be seeing and he will be speaking out, another person will be listening and he will be writing out. Okay, so what happens here? Hearing will may be defective or writing may be defective. Instead of writing 20 degrees 30 minutes, what will be write 30 degrees 20 minutes will be writing. There 10 degrees you will be getting lost. Okay, so by this, these are the some of the personal errors. You can avoid it by ourselves by taking all the precautionary measurements while taking the doing the instruments. Okay, next, coming to the natural errors. Natural, these occurs due to improper climatic conditions. Okay, the following are the important errors are: refraction due to high temperature, reflection due to unwanted light, rain and wind. Okay, all these are the some of the natural errors. So what happens? We cannot stop the rain, we cannot stop the wind, and we cannot stop the high temperature also. So in summer, you have to keep the timings of a surveying in such a way that morning 6 to 11 is the perfect time for your surveying, and evening 4 to 6, this is the perfect timing you should know. And because what happens? Reflection due to unwanted light. Suppose if your telescope is sighting towards the sun itself, okay, because your object is that side, so what happens? You may get reflected the light, and your eyes may get blurred, so that the reading cannot be taken perfectly. And rain and wind, it's not in our hand, we cannot stop. Okay, whereas in high temperature, high sun, you can change your timings, but rain and wind, it won't come as per our requirement. Okay, as per our requirement, we won't stop it. Okay, so the thing is, you have to postpone the work. That is the thing, right? So these are the some of the 3 errors that may arise in the theodolite: instrumental errors, personal errors, and natural errors. So what we have learned today in this class is, we have discussed the calculation of area of a closed traverse by coordinates method 2, and we have solved one problem also, and we have seen we have discussed about the instrumental errors, personal errors, and natural errors. These are very important, which are for your external examination or internal examination for essay type questions. This one is very important, right? Next, we'll see some of the questions. Now, the coordinate method is applicable to open traverse, closed traverse, none of the above. Of course, it's a closed traverse. Next, area of a traverse by coordinate method is given by sum of p plus or minus q by 2, sum of p into sum of q by 2, none of the above. So almost it is half of the difference between sum of p and sum of q. So this one is the answer. Which of the following is instrumental error? Error due to refraction, error due to slip, error due to imperfect graduations. So error due to imperfect graduations is the instrumental errors, whereas error due to slip is a personal error. Next, error due to refraction is a natural error. You should all learn all these things. And accurate bisection of readings and objects are not possible. Accurate bisection of readings and objects are not possible due to Vernier error, object glass error, parallax error. Parallax error. Okay, because of parallax error, we cannot bisect the object accurately, therefore readings cannot be taken accurately. Okay, now what type of questions they may ask? Explain with sketch the calculation of area of a closed traverse by coordinate method. Calculate the area of a traverse shown below table. This one, you try to solve this problem. Okay, you pause your video and note down this thing and try with the starting explanation. It will be very easy. What you have to do, see here, A, B, B, C, C, D, D, A, same traverse is given, and he has given the what latitudes and departures. Assume A as 100 and B as 100. So 100 minus 157.2 plus 210.5 plus 175 minus 228, like that. And here it will be east, means 100 plus 154.8 plus 52.5 minus 98.5 109, like that. You will be having a tabular column. Based upon that one, you go on writing the sequence what I have shown, means x1, x2, x3, x4 and x1, y1, y2, y3, y4, x1, and you calculate the sum of the product of sum of p and sum of q, and the difference of half of the difference of the two things is the area required, that you will be getting this area. Okay. Next, explain the errors in theodolite surveying. Explain the errors in the theodolite surveying, right? Next, explain the natural errors. Explain errors connected with instrument, errors connected with personnel. Okay. So with this we have completed our theodolite surveying. So out of these 8 lectures, okay, 8 lectures we have gone, in that what objectives we have seen from the starting is so these are my 8 lectures. Okay, so if I go for the first one, we have gone for the introduction. Okay, we have seen what are the common uses of theodolites, classification of theodolites, next line diagram with the component parts and the functions of each component part also we have seen, and these are all the component parts. If you are not gone through, please go through all these videos line by line from the date I think 17th, I think. Fundamental lines of a theodolite, this is very important topic, and relation between the fundamental lines, very important, and we have seen the frequency of questions. Next, in the second class of our theodolite surveying sequence, we have seen important terms used in the theodolite surveying and instruments used in theodolite surveying, and temporary adjustments of theodolite. Now in that, what are the important terms, what is meant by vertical axis, axis of telescope, okay, and the fundamental principles, this is very important. Line of collimation, horizontal axis, okay, face left observation, face right observation, what do you mean by swinging of telescope, transiting, okay, telescope normal, telescope invert means what, okay. We have seen the positions of each and everything. And what are the instruments used in theodolite surveying? We have seen tripod, plumb bob and theodolite, and we have seen the description of each item. What do you mean by tripod, how it is there, how many legs are there, how it is supported, the theodolite, okay. Next, what do you mean by plumb bob, what is the function of the plumb bob, and what is the theodolite. Next, we have seen the stages in the temporary adjustments, that is setting up the theodolite, leveling and elimination of the parallel axis error. And coming up this these are the some of the stages, setting up of theodolite over station. And see, this is a procedure. First you have to raise your theodolite legs of a tripod and unbox your instrument, and again fix on the instrument on the tripod stand. Next, you have to go for the leveling by approximate leveling by your one of the leg of a tripod, and by using the foot screws. Next, these are the positions. First, you have to keep the bubble tube parallel to two of the foot screws and perpendicular to the one of the foot screw, like that you will be doing. Next, elimination of parallax, focusing the eyepiece, focusing the object glass, okay. So we have seen in this. Next, what we have seen in the third class is measurement of horizontal angles, okay. What do you mean by horizontal angle, what is interior angle, when we call that angle as an exterior angle, how to measure the horizontal angles by repetition method and reiteration method. So, okay, now we have seen what do you mean by horizontal angle, when we call it as an exterior angle, like that. Next, measurement of horizontal angles by repetition and reiteration. So what is the difference means, if you find out the angle between 2 points only 2 points, then there is a repetition method is done. Repetition means from face left condition you have to go 2 to 3 times, and face right condition you have to go for 2 to 3 times.
for eliminating the cumulative errors that may occur, and coming, this is a tabular column which we are going to use when you are using the theodolite instrument, even for measurement of a horizontal angle or a vertical angle or anything. And this is the repetition method. And coming to the reiteration method, if more than two angles are found out from same station, then you are supposed to go for the reiteration method. So this we have seen in the third class. And next one is fourth class. What we have gone is measurement of vertical angles. Okay, measurement of vertical angles. Measurement, what do you mean by measurement of, how to go for angle of elevation, angle of depression, setting out angle using theodolite, what we have seen. What do you mean by traverse, types of traverse, stages of conducting the traverse and methods of traverse we have seen. Next, what is a vertical angle? Okay, so this is what vertical angle measurement, that may be angle of elevation or angle of depression. Based upon this one, you can find out the height by trigonometric leveling. All these we have seen. And this is the traverse, stages of conducting traverse. First, what you are doing, we will be going for reconnaissance survey. Means, what is the purpose of reconnaissance survey? In what area you are going to survey, you have to check it before fixing up the instrument directly. And you also choose the stations, control points for running the survey lines, and locating the details, booking the field notes, and measuring the distance preferably with the steel tape. Okay, methods of traversing. Okay, there are many methods. See, method of included angle, direct angle, like that, there are many methods. Okay, all these we have seen. And next, we have gone for day 5 with what do you mean by latitude and departure and closure of error. Okay, so in a computation of traversing we call. Okay, so this is the computation of traversing, finding out the latitudes and departures, that is L cos theta and SL theta. Latitude means you will be having a northing and southing. Northing can be represented by plus, and southing can be represented by minus. Easting can be represented by plus, and westing can be represented by minus, that is departure. Okay, and this is the formula L cos theta and L sin theta. Next, so these are the tabular column which is important. Okay, and we have seen what do you mean by consecutive coordinates and independent coordinates, error of closure, and checks for error on closure. Interior angles means 2n minus 4 into 90. Algebraic summing for all latitude should be equals to 0, and departure should be equals to 0. And we have seen the omitted measurements. Okay, there are so many cases in omitted measurements. In that, we have seen the different types of omitted measurements. Okay, length and bearing of one side being affected, adjacent sides, so two lengths or two bearings are affected, like that we have seen, and we have solved problems also. Okay, and in this only, so these are the two tabular columns which I have converted. So these are the rules for conversion of bearings from whole circle to reduced and reduced to whole circle bearings, which is very important. I have included this from the compass surveying, because in compass surveying also you will be having a traversing like that. And coming to the day 6, we have done some problems also on omitted measurements. Okay, that is bearing of two sides missing, and a length of two sides missing, and the problems on that. Okay, you go each video you go back. And yesterday, in the last before yesterday video, it is closing error. This closing error is while plotting will become across the closing error. And what are the methods or rules for closing error, that is Bowditch rule or transit rule are there. We have seen all these things, and how to calculate the closing error, what is the length, distance, and direction, in what direction, by knowing the bearing you can calculate. Okay, like that you have seen. Okay, and finally, this is today's class. We have seen the problem on a closed traverse, area calculation of a closed traverse by coordinate method 2, and the errors. Okay, I hope you understood every topic of this theodolite surveying. Total 8 classes we have done. If you have any doubts regarding these 8 classes, you can please do comment. And see, when you are not able to grasp it at one end, you try to do 2 times, you try to see the video 2 times so that it is will be perfect. And thank you for watching my all videos. Please do support for doing more videos. Thank you.